Hey, this is Brooke, functional medicine dietitian specializing in fertility, and this is the Fertility Dietitian podcast, where I help you uncover the barriers that are preventing you from optimizing your fertility and teach you how to work with your body to finally take home a healthy baby. Each week, I will be diving into different topics on fertility and sharing my perspective on physiology, metabolic health, nutrition, and lifestyle approaches that have helped hundreds of couples get pregnant even after years of heartache. My goal is to empower you with the knowledge you need to take back control of your fertility. Happy listening. If you haven't listened to episode 27 on iron supplementation and fertility, I highly recommend starting there because today we're going to dive even deeper into iron. In the previous episode, we talked about why blindly supplementing iron can actually backfire and why iron doesn't work alone, and how low iron on labs does not automatically mean iron deficiency. So today we're focusing on how to improve iron levels and iron function without supplements, and why for many women this is actually the missing piece. Here's the truth. Most fertility challenges related to iron are not about intake. They're about transport, binding, inflammation, and clotting risk. So iron is a regulation problem most often, not just a deficiency problem. And it's fairly complex. So your body actually is very efficient with iron. We recycle about 24 milligrams of iron every single day through our iron recycling system. And most providers don't really know about this. This is happening mostly from old red blood cells. So when iron labs look low, one of the first questions we should ask is iron actually low or is it stuck? Iron gets stuck when inflammation is present, when copper is inefficient, when vitamin A is low, if magnesium is depleted, or if blood sugar or thyroid function is off. In these cases, supplementing iron doesn't fix the root cause issue. It just adds more iron to a system that can't use it properly, piling on more inflammation and concerns and side effects, especially when we're talking about reproduction. So when we want to improve iron levels without supplements, we want to do this. Let's talk about what actually works. We want to first reduce inflammation. This is non-negotiable. Inflammation tells the body to hide iron because it's a protective response. Iron feeds pathogens. So during inflammation or infection, the body intentionally pulls iron out of circulation. Markers that suggest inflammation or inflammation-driven iron issues include CRP, so these are blood markers specifically. So elevated CRP, high ferritin with low serum iron, low transferrin, low hemoglobin despite normal ferritin. And ways to lower inflammation include supporting our gut health, balancing our blood sugar, addressing our food sensitivities, of course, making sure that your sleep and circadian rhythm are being supported. That rest and repair process is always a major foundation, and replete magnesium. Until inflammation comes down, iron will typically stay locked away, right? And unregulated, causing all sorts of additional issues. The next thing to do after we are thinking about decreasing inflammation or learning whether inflammation is a root cause of iron being low in our blood markers is supporting iron transport. And this heavily involves copper and ceruloplasmin. So this is where things get really misunderstood. Copper is required to load iron onto transferrin, to move iron out of storage, and to use iron to make energy. Without copper, iron cannot circulate, even if stores are full. This is why some women have low hemoglobin, low serum iron, normal or high ferritin, which is a storage protein for iron. And that pattern is a functional iron deficiency. not true deficiency. So copper comes into play as being a really important way to help that iron get out of storage and where it needs to go. Copper supportive foods include beef liver, oysters, shiitake mushrooms, cacao, cashews, and citrus. And remember, vitamin A is required to make copper bioavailable, or for us to be able to use copper as well. All right. So lots of nutrients are going to be necessary for supporting overall iron transport and regulation. But let's keep going through the list here. So we also want to be prioritizing heme iron from food. So food-based iron is regulated by the body. Supplements are not. Heme iron is from animal foods and is absorbed up to 4 times better than non-heme iron, which is from plant foods. And it doesn't require as many conversion steps. So it's used better. It's more bioavailable. Best fertility foods or sources include beef, liver, sardines, oysters. And the beauty of food is that this iron is going to be coming with the nutrient buddies that we need to help circulate iron, including your copper and your zinc and your vitamin A, as well as your B vitamins, your protein, and fat for improved absorption of a handful of these nutrients. This is why food is often more effective than supplements. Doesn't mean supplements don't serve a purpose or have a place, but food first always. We also want to be making sure that we're improving digestion and absorption. You can eat iron-rich foods all day long, but if digestion is compromised, iron won't be absorbed. And so a few ways that we can support absorption include eating slowly, chewing well, supporting our stomach acid, avoiding excess calcium when you're eating iron-rich meals because calcium blocks iron absorption or decreases it. And pairing iron-rich foods with vitamin C can be supportive, but remember that poor digestion often contributes to poor iron status and overall regulation of that iron too. All right, so let's briefly talk about labs so we can talk more about binding factors and the connections with fertility. This is where more confusion often happens when we're talking about iron regulation. Key iron markers that I look at all together, we always are looking in context here. So hemoglobin, ferritin, serum iron, transferrin, a TIBC, which is total iron binding capacity, ceruloplasmin, copper, magnesium in the red blood cells. So it's called RBC magnesium specifically. We want that one for best context, and vitamin A and CRP. What matters is patterns, not single numbers. So we're looking at things like low hemoglobin and normal ferritin, low transferrin, low ceruloplasmin. It's not a call for iron supplementation. It's a call for better iron support or regulation. When we're thinking about clotting, this is often a piece nobody really talks about, but it's especially important for fertility and pregnancy. Excess iron, especially when poorly regulated, can increase oxidative stress, promote inflammation, increase clotting tendency, and high ferritin and inflammation can actually thicken blood and impair placental circulation. So this matters a lot because implantation requires healthy blood flow. And if we're experiencing a lot of clotting or thicker blood flow, it's definitely going to impair implantation. Pregnancy requires expanded plasma volume, and clotting issues can increase miscarriage risk. So more iron is actually going to contribute to more clotting when it is not being regulated. We need to regulate our iron better. So if you've been told that your iron is low and you need to just take more, or that everything looks normal with your iron, or that iron just, runs low in pregnancy, I want you to really hear this. Iron issues are often iron regulation issues, not intake issues. And food, nutrients, and inflammation control way better than any supplements do. So setting that foundation for iron regulation makes a really big difference. We need those nutrient buddies in there to help pull iron out of storage and help it circulate to where it needs to go. Supporting iron properly improves cycle health, thyroid function, energy, implantation, and overall pregnancy outcomes. And this is exactly why a root cause approach to fertility matters and really nutrition as a whole matters. If this episode made you rethink everything you know about iron, share it with someone who's been stuck in the supplement spiral, okay? Over supplementing iron leads to a lot of negative side effects, increasing inflammation, increasing risk of miscarriage. And if you're supplementing it during pregnancy, especially IV level supplementation, you're at much higher risk of bleeding, hemorrhaging after birth, okay? It's a body's way of eliminating iron that it cannot manage because this recycling system is not functioning appropriately. So that gives you another idea of some of the negative impacts of iron supplementation. And again, like there is always room for supplementation. We just need to make sure that it's being very supportive, that labs are being monitored, that we're looking at the full picture and context and really supporting the recycling of the iron to minimize those negative side effects. And if you're ready to stop guessing and finally understand what your labs are saying, that's where individualized support really changes everything. You probably don't need more iron. You just need better iron regulation. You know where to find me. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Fertility Dietitian podcast. If you enjoyed it, please leave a review to let me know what topics you want more of or less of. If you want to keep learning, subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out my website for more info on my private coaching program, Master Your Fertility, or my membership community, Fertility Blueprint. And don't forget my digital store. Come say hi on YouTube and Instagram. See you in the next episode.